The city of Memphis woke up shaking today, and not because of the weather. No, it's because a wave of shocking whispers just crashed across every block, every barbershop, and every group chat, dragging young Dolph's name right back into the spotlight. But this time, the rumor isn't about the late legend himself, it's about someone even closer. People online are suddenly pointing their fingers toward a man the streets claim is tied to Dolph by blood, and the allegations flying around are enough to send the entire rap world into panic. Again, these are just claims, nothing proven, nothing confirmed, but the noise is getting too loud to ignore. Social media threads exploded overnight after new footage and neighborhood talk suggested that this mysterious family member might somehow be linked to the tragic death of Fast Cash C Money, the rising Memphis artist who was reportedly inches away from signing a life-changing CMG deal before he was gunned down. Fans are stunned, tensions are building, and both sides of the long-standing PR and CMG rivalry are buzzing like a live wire. No one knows what's real yet, but one thing is clear. Memphis hasn't felt this volatile since the Dolph era, and everyone wants answers. Memphis has always been a city where the truth walks slower than the rumors, but tonight, the whispers are running like they are being chased. The air feels tense, the kind of tension that sinks into your bones before you even understand why. People all over the city keep repeating the same thing in hushed tones, that something dark has resurfaced, something tied to old wounds that never healed. The chatter isn't about new music or another summer anthem. No, the talk is about a shocking claim that shot out of nowhere and shook the entire rap scene awake. Folks online say that someone connected to young Dolph by blood might have been pulled into the circle of noise surrounding Fast Cash C Money's tragic end. Nobody can confirm anything, nobody has proof, but the comments? Reactions and late-night lives have turned the whole situation into a storm. The story that's being whispered isn't clean or simple. It's messy, complicated, tangled in loyalty, fear, and decades of bad blood between two powerful sides of the city. The rivalry between Dolph's camp and the other side has haunted Memphis for years, and even though everyone tried to bury that energy after the tragedies that unfolded before, it only took one rumor to bring it all rushing back. Fans say the city feels like it's breathing heavy again, like everyone is waiting for something else to drop. And at the center of all this noise sits one question people can't stop repeating online. Why did this new rumor drag Dolph's loved ones into the spotlight at a moment when things were already fragile? When a blurry clip popped up on different pages late at night. Nothing was clear in the video except shadows moving in the distance and voices muffled by bad audio. It wasn't even RapBurst who was in the clip, but that didn't stop the internet from exploding with theories. One comment claimed the person in the footage looked familiar. Another insisted they recognized the style of someone walking. Within minutes, those small comments turned into full-blown claims, and by the next hour, people were naming a relative of Dolph as someone who might have been present in that scene. Nobody could verify anything, but the rumor had already sunk its teeth into the city. The timing made the tension worse. C Money had just been celebrated for what looked like the biggest opportunity of his life. People closest to him had hinted that he was inches away from a major deal that could have changed everything for him, a deal that would have carried him out of the trenches and into a world where his talent would finally be given the spotlight it deserved. Fans were excited, his circle was proud, and even the blogs had started posting different predictions. predictions about his next move. Then, almost instantly, everything flipped. One night he was smiling with his people, and the next he was gone in a moment that still has the city grieving. It's not the first time Memphis has seen a star rising fast only to be taken too soon. The streets talk about this cycle like it's a curse they can't break. Every time someone tries to climb up, forces from the shadows seem to drag them down again. The heartbreaking part is that nobody knows when the cycle will stop or who will be caught in it next. When See Money passed, people all around the city felt like they had seen this chapter before. They felt that familiar ache in their chest, the anger mixed with sadness, and that cold fear that maybe the city really struggles to let its young talent survive long enough to shine. As the rumor grew, different pages began posting their own spins. Some said the clip didn't mean anything. Others claimed it was the missing piece to a bigger story. Influencers started doing late-night talks. Fans jumped into comment sections dropping their own theories. And within hours the whole situation felt like it had turned into a massive online investigation. Yet through all of this, the facts remained the same. The authorities hadn't named anyone, no suspects were confirmed, and those who actually knew See Money personally kept asking people to stop pushing narratives without evidence. But when emotions are high, logic rarely wins. People were already deep into their theories, and nobody wanted to let go of the adrenaline the rumor gave them. One of the reasons the conversation got so intense is because Memphis has never fully recovered from the trauma left by past tragedies. The loss of Dolph left a hole in the city that still hasn't closed, and every time something new happens, that old pain wakes up again. People still argue about what truly went down back then. Some blame one side, others point fingers in the opposite direction, but most just feel the exhaustion of watching history repeat itself. So when someone whispered that maybe a member of Dolph's own family was being dragged into a brand new situation, it hit a nerve that had been waiting in silence. Emotions rose even higher when an insider page posted a message claiming that See Money had been moving in ways that made some people uneasy. Again, nothing confirmed, just stories being passed from one mouth to another. The post suggested that he had love on both sides of the city, something that is almost impossible to carry safely. Being respected by both sides sounds good on paper, but in places where old grudges never die, showing love to two different worlds can make a person a target without even realizing it. Some commenters said maybe the situation wasn't about record deals or music at all. Maybe it was about long-standing codes and unspoken rules that most people outside the streets don't even understand. In the middle of all the online chaos, someone from Dolph's extended circle commented briefly, saying they felt tired of seeing their name dragged into things they had no part in. Their message wasn't long, but the frustration was clear. People noticed the anger behind the words, and it only added more fuel to the speculation. Fans started asking if that frustration meant something deeper. Others argued it was just a natural reaction to being tied to rumors that could put someone in danger. Either way, it caused another wave of discussion, another round of posts, another wave of reactions. Every hour something new popped up, and the city stayed awake. What people forget in situations like this is that every rumor has consequences, even if it's false. Families get shaken, friends get nervous, and memories get reopened. While the internet may treat it like entertainment, the people living it feel every ripple. See Money's close friends started posting old photos, sharing memories, talking about his ambition, his humor, the things that made him more than a headline. One friend wrote that he wished people cared half as much about the truth as they did about drama. Another said he hoped the streets didn't spiral into something that couldn't be undone. Those posts hit hard because they came from real pain, not from speculation. Still, the rumor kept spreading. Once it hits a certain point, the narrative becomes bigger than anyone trying to stop it. Fans started tagging different artists, hoping someone would say something that could slow the noise down. But everyone stayed quiet. That silence felt heavy, like each person was choosing their words carefully, afraid that one wrong sentence could light a fuse in a city already on edge. Whenever big stories like this break, the silence becomes louder than any statement. People read into it, twist it, and use it to build their own theories. As the night went on, people kept replaying that blurry clip, convinced they could see clues hidden inside it. Some stayed frame by frame. Others listened for voices. Others swore they recognized the outline of someone walking. Phones lit up everywhere with people sending the clip back and forth, chasing certainty in a moment where nothing is certain. No matter how many times it was watched, the truth didn't get any clearer. But in Memphis, it's never really about clarity. It's about the feeling in the air, the energy that tells people something is shifting. And tonight that energy was impossible to ignore. The longer the clip circulated, the more the city felt like it was slipping back into an era everyone hoped had ended. People started hitting up their cousins, their partners, their late-night contacts, trying to find out if anybody knew something real. Every voice message sounded the same. Confusion mixed with fear, curiosity mixed with frustration. Nobody wanted to believe that someone tied to Dolph in any way could be pulled into such a heavy rumor, but the internet doesn't wait for solid proof. It builds its own story, brick by brick, using fragments of conversation, emotions, hurt memories, and that lingering tension that Memphis never truly shakes off. As the hours rolled on, more pages began dropping exclusive sources. One page posted that a person who claimed to know money from childhood said the energy around him had shifted in the weeks before the tragedy. Another anonymous account said he had been seen with people from different sides of the city, and some folks didn't like the way he was moving. These claims had no evidence, yet the comments section exploded. Some people defended him fiercely, reminding everyone that he was trying to elevate his life, not cause trouble. Others insisted that walking between two worlds in Memphis is almost always dangerous. Nobody agreed, but everybody had something to say. The city's older heads, people who lived through the early waves of conflict, began posting their own warnings. They said the streets have long memories and even longer grudges. They reminded folks that the calm Memphis has felt lately was only surface level, and beneath that surface sits a history of fights, losses, and unspoken codes that are still alive. One message from an old-school voice said, "People forget shadows don't die, they just get quiet." That sentence spread across social media like wildfire. Suddenly everyone was quoting it, using it to explain why the tension in the city felt different now. As the speculation grew, people who were once silent started speaking up. Fans began stitching together their own theories, connecting things that never had any reason to be connected. One fan created a long thread claiming that the timing of C-Money's upcoming deal was too perfect, too clean, and that the streets don't like when someone switches lanes too smoothly. Another fan argued that it wasn't about loyalty at all, but about jealousy. When you shine too fast, the post read, "Somebody somewhere feels like you're shining with their light." That comment hit a nerve, because everyone knew Memphis has a complicated relationship with rising stars. The city celebrates them, but the shadows watch closely. Meanwhile, people close to Dolph's name began posting cryptic messages. None of them addressed the rumor directly, but the energy was impossible to ignore. One post simply said, "I'm tired of being dragged into things I ain't around for." Another said, "Stop speaking on people you never met." Fans immediately assumed these posts were tied to the rumor, even though no names were mentioned. The online crowd filled in the blanks themselves, and the speculation doubled again. The more people tried to distance themselves from the conversation, the more the crowd pulled them right back in. What made it worse was the emotional weight of C-Money's loss itself. Footage of him laughing earlier that night kept circulating, and each time someone watched it, they felt that familiar sting of knowing his joy didn't last. Friends of his spoke about the night, describing how excited he was, how he kept saying he felt like something big was coming. One of his best friends posted a voice note of them laughing a few hours before everything happened. The tone in that voice note was light, full of hope, and hearing it only made the situation feel even harder to swallow. The comments under it were full of broken hearts, people mourning someone they never met but felt connected to. Fans of his music began revisiting old tracks, pointing out lyrics where he talked about watching his back, moving carefully, and knowing the streets didn't want him to win too easily. Suddenly, those lyrics felt like warnings he left behind, and that scared people even more. Listeners said they felt chills hearing his voice again, knowing how quickly his path was cut short. The music community shared stories of how he was respected, how his passion was real, how his dream was bigger than the city's darkness. People kept saying he deserved a better ending than this. And still, in the middle of all that grief, the rumor refused to die. Instead, it grew legs and started sprinting. People started comparing different screenshots, saying they had inside information. Some pages dropped supposed timelines, suggesting C-Money's movements the night before were unusual. Others claimed he had been getting strange calls in the days before his passing. None of this had proof, but in a place where fear meets imagination, small details become magnified into full theories. Everything sounded like a puzzle, even if the pieces didn't fit. What truly pushed the city into deeper discussion was when someone posted a message claiming that the reason the rumor about Dolph's relative started was because a group of people had been arguing privately about an old disagreement that resurfaced. The message didn't go into detail, but it hinted that the issue involved past loyalties, things said years ago, and tensions that were never resolved. As soon as that message went up, the comment section lit up like a switchboard. People demanded names, demanded receipts, demanded someone from either side step up and clear the air. But again, nobody did. Silence wrapped around the situation tighter than any explanation. As the story spread, more voices began chiming in about how the city's young artists need safer environments. Some people said C-Money's death should be a wake-up call to everyone chasing success in places where jealousy, fear, and unresolved rivalries live too close to opportunity. Others believed the situation was being blown out of proportion, that the internet was turning tragedy into entertainment. The harsh truth is both sides had a point. The internet loves drama, but the city felt real grief. Through all this noise, one detail kept resurfacing: the major deal C-Money was about to secure. According to people close to him, that deal was supposed to be the beginning of a new chapter. They said he talked about wanting to move to a safer place, wanting to bring his family out of struggle, wanting to stop looking over his shoulder every night. He had dreams of performing on bigger stages, building something lasting, creating a legacy for his loved ones. But dreams in Memphis don't always get the chance to stretch out. Sometimes, they barely have time to breathe. What made the rumor sting even more was how personal it felt. Fans weren't just shocked that someone might have been tied to the story. They were heartbroken that Dolph's family name was dragged back into the center of another storm. Many in the city still haven't fully recovered from losing Dolph, and any mention of his circle reignites that pain. People said it felt like reopening a wound that had barely started to scar. It wasn't just about a rumor. It was about a history of trauma that keeps knocking on the city's door no matter how much they try to move forward. Late into the night, people continued sending each other voice notes saying they had heard something new. Someone claimed a person they knew saw someone running that night. Someone else said they heard a car circling the block before the shots were fired. Every story had a detail that felt believable but unverified. Memphis has always relied on street talk as its own form of news, and when real news moves too slow, street talk fills the space with its own truth, real or imagined. And in households across the city, people kept replaying that rumor, trying to understand how a family already tied to so much pain could be dragged into another narrative. Some were angry, others confused, many simply exhausted. The city feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for someone to finally step out and explain what's real and what's just noise. But so far, nobody has. And in that silence, the streets continue writing their own version of the story, piece by piece, rumor by rumor, emotion by emotion, creating a storm that refuses to slow down. The deeper the night went, the more the city felt like it was drowning in questions it didn't know how to answer. People kept refreshing their feeds, hoping someone from either side would finally say something solid, something that could stop the wildfire before it spread even further. But every time a notification popped up, it was just another rumor, another voice note, another person claiming they had heard something from someone who knew somebody. In Memphis, that kind of chain reaction can turn nothing into something and something into a full-blown storm. As the rumor kept spinning, people started paying attention to things they normally ignored. Small coincidences became suspicious. Regular interactions were suddenly analyzed like secret codes. One page posted that a few days before the tragedy, C-Money had been seen meeting quietly with people outside the music world. Another page said he had been spotted in neighborhoods he didn't usually pull up to. None of these claims had proof, but when emotions run high, even the smallest detail feels meaningful. Fans started arguing in the comments, each side convinced they had the right interpretation. Some said he was building bridges. Others said he was stepping into dangerous territory. Nobody knew, yet everyone debated like they were inside the situation itself. As people argued, another layer of tension surfaced. Someone posted a message saying that a close friend of Dolph's relative had gone silent online, deleting stories and removing old posts. Naturally, fans flooded that person's page with questions, trying to figure out if the silence meant anything. "Why did you delete your story?" one person asked. "Why aren't you responding?" another demanded. That page stayed dark, and the silence only strengthened the questions. People started saying the timing felt too strange. Others insisted the person probably just wanted peace, nothing more. But Memphis wasn't in the mood for simple explanations. The city wanted answers, and silence felt like fuel. Meanwhile, certain voices began calling out the community for letting the rumor get so big. One well-known blogger went live, shaking their head with frustration. They said the city needs healing, not more division, and dragging people based on shadows in a blurry video was only going to lead to more pain. Their message made sense, but even they couldn't deny the electricity in the air, the sense that something bigger was hiding behind all the talk. Fans filled the live chat saying they appreciated the positivity, but they still wanted the truth. Nobody wanted chaos, but nobody wanted to ignore what the streets were whispering either. As the discussions grew, someone posted an old interview of Dolph where he talked about loyalty, family, and the hard choices he had faced coming up in Memphis. Hearing his voice again made the rumor hit even harder. Fans wrote long comments about how the city still feels his absence, how his loss left a shadow that hasn't moved. They said dragging his family's name into new situations feels like reopening a door that should have stayed closed. But then others pointed out that in Memphis, the line between past and present is thin. Old stories have a way of stepping back into the light when you least expect it. The interview clip started trending again, and people began comparing Dolph's words to the current situation. One fan wrote, "He warned us about the streets being tricky. He warned us about people mixing circles." Another said, "The things he said back then feel like they were meant for moments like this." Suddenly, the rumor wasn't just about C-Money or the blurry clip. It had turned into a conversation about Memphis itself, about the pressure the city puts on its rising stars, and about how a person can get caught in places without ever meaning to. In the middle of all this emotional energy, new voice notes started circulating. One claimed that someone heard an argument earlier in the week involving people tied to different parts of the city. The voice note was shaky, full of background noise, but people treated it like it was breaking news. Some said the voices sounded familiar. Others said it was staged. Some believed every word. Others dismissed it as someone chasing attention. But regardless of what people believed, the note kept spreading. Each share added another twist, another piece to a puzzle nobody fully understood. One especially dramatic voice note claimed that C-Money had been warned about certain people being unhappy with his movements. The voice said he brushed it off, thinking it was just jealousy. That detail hit people in a painful way, because many felt he was on the verge of something great. Hearing that he might have been warned, even if it was just rumor, made the whole tragedy feel even heavier. People commented that they wished someone had protected him better, guided him, kept him away from danger. One heartbreaking post read, "He needed a team that didn't just celebrate him but shielded him." That comment went viral, echoing the grief of thousands who felt robbed of witnessing his full rise. By this point, the rumor had gotten so big that different fan pages began creating timelines trying to piece together the week before the incident. These timelines weren't based on evidence, just guesswork and online whispers. Still, people studied them like they were official reports. One timeline suggested C-Money had been juggling too many relationships in the city. Another suggested there were disagreements behind the scenes about his upcoming deal. None of this was confirmed, but the more detailed these theories became, the more people believed something deep and personal must have happened before the tragedy. All this attention eventually led to reactions from people who had stayed quiet until now. Someone from C-Money's camp posted a message asking people to stop dragging his name into street narratives. They wrote that he was focused on bettering his life, not causing drama. Their message was emotional, filled with grief and exhaustion. Reading it made many fans pause for a moment, realizing how painful it must be for his loved ones to see his story twisted into rumors and online debates. But even with that reminder, the tension didn't fully fade. People kept sharing theories, kept analyzing, kept wondering. What made the situation even more complicated was how emotional fans became as they tried to figure out who to believe. Some were convinced the rumor had truth buried in it, while others said it was nothing more than Memphis pain manifesting itself in storytelling. People argued passionately, not because they wanted chaos, but because they cared about the artists and the city's music culture. People cried on lives. People sent long messages about how Memphis needs healing, how they are tired of losing their artists, how they are scared the cycle will never end. One person said, "Every time someone gets close to leveling up, something pulls them down. It's like the city can't breathe without tragedy." That comment spread fast, becoming the sad heartbeat of the entire conversation. And then came the screenshots. Someone posted a message claiming they saw C Money having a tense argument with someone days before his passing. The message didn't show faces, didn't give proof, just a blurred street corner and a caption that read, "This the moment everything changed." Fans argued non-stop about it. Some said the photo was old. Others said it was staged. Some insisted the body language looked serious. Others said it looked like nothing. The lack of clarity only made it more powerful. In Memphis, uncertainty often carries more weight than facts. As the day slowly turned into morning, the entire city felt drained. People had spent hours trying to sort truth from rumor, hope from fear, grief from curiosity. Yet nothing was clearer than before. All that remained was the overwhelming sense that Memphis was standing at the edge of something it wasn't ready for. People went to sleep with heavy minds and heavier hearts, knowing that whatever comes next could shift everything again. And beneath all that noise, one reality stayed unchanged. Someone's life was lost, a family was broken, a city was hurt, and the whispers that started from a single blurry clip had now grown into a storm that refused to rest. When the sun finally rose over Memphis, the city didn't feel rested at all. It felt like everyone had stayed awake even if their eyes were closed, carrying the same weight from the night before. The streets looked calm, but the conversations brewing underneath were louder than car horns and bus engines combined. People were whispering at gas stations, murmuring in food lines, texting in group chats, all trying to figure out if anything they read last night held even a grain of truth. The rumor didn't fade with the daylight. If anything, it settled deeper into the city's chest, like a knot tightening with every breath. As morning turned to afternoon, new layers of emotion surfaced. Some people were frustrated that the conversation had gotten so big without any real confirmation. Others felt like the city was on edge because everyone was tired of the same cycle repeating itself. One person wrote, "We're losing too many young brothers," and that comment spread because it echoed how everyone felt. Memphis has seen too many dreams end early, too many promising lives cut short, too many families left with more questions than answers. This latest tragedy only reopened all those wounds that never truly healed. Meanwhile, different pages kept posting screenshots of private messages, each claiming they had spoken to someone who knew more than the public. One page claimed they received a message saying the tension between certain circles had been bubbling long before the tragedy. Another page said a mutual friend hinted that people were upset about C Money's potential deal, believing it might shift alliances in ways that made some uncomfortable. None of this could be proven, but the city listened anyway, because pain makes people reach for any explanation that feels close to the truth. The rumor involving Dolph's relative continued floating in the air like smoke. People kept going back and forth, arguing whether it held any real weight or if it was just the city projecting old scars onto a fresh wound. Some fans defended the family fiercely, saying the rumors were disrespectful and reckless. Others claimed the timing of certain posts and disappearances felt too suspicious to ignore. It was a tug-of-war between emotion and logic, between fear and hope, between what people wanted to believe and what the streets were whispering. Even though no names were confirmed, people still created their own narratives. Someone uploaded a long thread claiming that the tension started because of an old disagreement that had nothing to do with music. Someone else insisted that it had everything to do with loyalty, that the moment C Money started leaning into the New Deal, old frustrations started resurfacing. Fans couldn't agree on anything, but they all agreed on one thing: the energy felt dangerous. The city wasn't just grieving anymore, it was bracing. As the day went on, people began sharing old memories of C Money, clips of him laughing, freestyling, celebrating small wins. His smile became the center of the conversation, reminding people that he wasn't just a headline, He was a person who loved life, a person who talked about wanting something better for himself and his family. His name didn't deserve to be tangled in rumors or used as a tool for online theories. Still, with grief comes confusion, and with confusion comes speculation. The city was talking because it didn't know how to process losing another talented young voice. A few artists briefly mentioned the situation in vague posts, saying the city needs more unity. They didn't speak on details, didn't confirm anything, didn't deny anything, but their sadness was clear. One artist posted, "We're losing too many. We gotta move smarter. We gotta protect each other out here." Another artist wrote, "This city hurting again." Their words weren't dramatic, but they carried weight because everyone knew how real the pain was. Late in the day, someone posted what they called an exclusive voice note, claiming it came from someone who witnessed part of the argument that supposedly took place days before C-Money's passing. The voice in the recording sounded emotional, almost shaky, describing raised voices, frustration, and misunderstandings. But even this couldn't be confirmed. Still, fans treated it like a missing chapter in the story. The comments were filled with people analyzing the voice, the tone, the pauses, everything. Some thought it was genuine. Others said it was fake. But once something emotional hits the internet, the truth becomes less important than how it makes people feel. As evening settled in, the rumor gained momentum again. Someone claimed that the reason the situation between different circles felt so heavy was because of a chain of events that started long before. They made a long post describing how relationships in Memphis are complicated, how people hold on to grudges quietly, how tension doesn't disappear even when everything seems peaceful on the surface. That post resonated with thousands of people because it described exactly how the city often operates, quiet storms hiding behind normal days. All day long, people kept waiting for someone official to speak up. Maybe a representative, maybe a family member, maybe an artist connected to the circle. But nobody did. And that silence felt like the loudest part of the whole situation. People kept refreshing pages, hoping to see something concrete, something stable, something that could stop the storm. But every refresh brought the same cycle of emotion, sadness, and unverified claims. By nighttime, the city felt emotionally exhausted. Yet the conversation kept going because nobody wanted to log off without understanding the full picture. Some people prayed that the rumor would fade away by morning. Others feared it would only get louder. People were scared that if the wrong words were said publicly, it could trigger something the city wasn't ready for. In Memphis, words can turn into actions, and actions can shape the future in ways nobody wants. Someone close to C-Money Circle posted a message late at night saying they hoped the city would focus more on his life than the rumors surrounding his passing. They wrote about his loyalty, his joy, his ambition, and how the people who loved him were trying to cope with a pain that felt impossible to describe. That message brought many people to tears, because it reminded them that behind every rumor is a real family grieving. Still, the storm didn't calm. People kept replaying the blurry clip, looking for clues that weren't there. People kept blaming the silence for why the rumor wasn't dying. People kept sending each other voice notes full of theories. The city wasn't just feeling sadness, it was feeling the weight of uncertainty. And in that heavy uncertainty, one truth kept repeating across every conversation: Memphis is hurting again. Another young life gone. Another artist silenced before his brightest moment. Another family broken. Another rumor threatening to turn grief into chaos. The city doesn't know what tomorrow holds, but tonight, everyone feels the same fear, that if this storm doesn't slow down, things could get even more complicated than they already are, and people are praying the cycle ends before the city loses anyone else. The city of Memphis moves differently when a storm like this hits. Whatever people choose to believe about the rumors, whatever theories they heard from late-night lives or whispered through group chats, one thing is certain: a young life was taken far too soon, and the pain of that loss is still spreading across every corner of the community. C-Money didn't deserve to become another heartbreaking chapter in a story the city has read too many times. Behind the rumors, behind the speculation, behind every post and voice note, there's a family shattered, friends grieving, and a dream that never got the chance to reach its full light. Nobody knows how much truth lies in the claims floating around. Nobody knows who started the whispers or why they grew as fast as they did. What people do know is that the silence from official voices hasn't made things easier. It's left room for fear, confusion, and curiosity to mix together into something heavy. And now the city waits, hoping that clarity eventually rises through all the noise. So now it comes back to you, the one watching, the one listening, the one trying to understand this complicated moment. What do you think is really happening beneath the surface? Do you believe this rumor grew because of real tension, or do you think the city is reacting from old wounds and raw emotion? Whatever your thoughts are, your voice matters in this conversation. Drop your take in the comments. Tell us what you think the streets are truly saying. If you felt the weight of this story, hit the like button so more people can join the discussion. And if you want to stay locked in as this story unfolds, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. The city's watching closely, and so are we.